Today, Dune Awakening had its very first Dune Awakening direct show, and it was really exciting. We saw the first gameplay trailer, a bunch of in-game footage, and much more details about the game, so let me tell you all about them today in this short form video. For those that don't know, Dune is a survival MMO game that is coming. That is going to be a PvP and a PvE game. It is a sandbox and it features things like sandstorms that you have to be careful of. As you play Conan Exiles, then you'll be very familiar with that, although these look a lot more dangerous. You also have things like surviving from other players if you go into PvP zones, as that seems to be a thing mentioned in this topic today. And you get your traditional survival things like surviving from heat, water, staying out of the sun, traveling by night like you would in the movies, still suits, dew fields, and apparently you can eat plant fiber for water, or you can shoot enemies and drink their blood. Yummy. It will also have other traditional farming assets that you would usually have in a survival game, such as farming for stones, metals, coppers, irons, and apparently forging steel as well is an option. You'll be crafting all your gear and weapons, clothing, and crafting machines to make better weapons and armor, kind of like how you would do in normal survival games. And the base building sounds super interesting, as it takes Conan Exiles building system but makes it a lot better apparently. They're saying you can co-op build, so you can place holograms and build bases together. You can also, get this, save your base as a blueprint and sell it to other players. So if you make something really cool, you could go ahead and sell it to people. That is crazy. And then they can build together the base that you have created, which is absolutely nuts. I love that this is a thing. And it opens up a lot of potentials on how that's going to work and what happens. And then that also tells you, there's a market for selling to other players as well. So I wonder what's going to be on there and all that good stuff. They also mentioned the world has a leveling system. When they were talking about this, they were going over combined arms. So they use several different ways to protect yourself in the Dune games, such as melee, ranged combat, abilities, and vehicles. And they went over some of the abilities a bit in this one, which was super cool as well. They said about using the voice, which if you don't know about like the movie or the books, it controls people, so you could bring them closer and then hit them with the jabber, give them a stabber. And then there's also the sword master, which is apparently a skill as well. Leap in with a knee charge, knocking people to the ground for the stab, more stabbing. There's also trooper. And with that, you apparently can grapple to high places to snipe enemies and stuff like that. So that sounded super cool. The nice interview lady asked if there is ability classes locked. So you choose an ability in the beginning, but you stuck with that for the entire duration of the game. But apparently you can find trainers in the world to teach you all the different types of abilities. You just have to do quests for them to learn the different ability paths. So very much like Conan there, where you'd go around and find all the religion teachers, but instead on this one you'll be able to do that with ability teachers, which is a nice touch, because I don't like getting locked into abilities, because it might be like underwhelming and you see your friend with a really cool class and you're like, oh damn, I wish I picked that one. But you'll be able to do that and play around with it, so that's really good. They did say in this game the Sandworms are not defeatable. They're more of like a scare factor type thing. So you have to avoid the worms and use thumpers to distract the Sandworms. And apparently, like, you could go on your sand bike, but you're driving across the desert. You could be at risk of getting eaten by the sandworms and all that. So it sounds like they're going to be like a massive scare point in the game, like a massive danger to overcome, which sounds super scary, but also super fun. I can imagine trying to run away from one of these things and being like, oh! It makes me wonder if you'll be able to do the, the walk to go across the sand to not detect them, if that works, or if you just get eaten. They're just like, what are you doing? I'm just gonna eat you. They also went over a range of vehicles you could use within the game, such as the sand bike and the ornithopter, so that dragonfly looking thing that flies around, which is really cool. And there seems to be other vehicles as well, looking at the trailers and stuff like that, so that should be really good fun. It is a cooperative game, so more of a co-op kind of system. You can group with people and ping points of interest to friends, apparently. You can also heal your friends and revive them. And there is a journey system to explore Arrakis with, so kind of like a quest journey system, I suppose, or maybe similar to Conan's journey system, where you can go around, explore points of interest, explore the world that's been designed for us. They also went over a contract system at trade posts, so there seems to be trade posts throughout the world we can go to, pick up contracts and do that for rewards of some kind. And there is a guild play or group play option, so you can make a guild and you can play as a group of friends by the sounds of it, which is super cool. They also said in the game you can meet factions within the world at war, which is super cool. I'm glad you could do that. You can pick sides, you can do missions for those factions and work your ways up throughout the ranks. That is honestly super exciting. Love that. They did mention here about Atreides and Harkonnen, so you could play for those kind of teams, which I think is super cool. And you could go head to head with each other trying to complete missions from the Landsrad and work against each other, or I guess work together, but more likely work against each other because you're different factions to complete the goals. So you could do it with, I guess you could have your friend being one faction and then you on the other faction and try to beat each other to the chase of getting the quest done. I don't know, it sounds super cool either way. There was also a question of how many more betas and the development status of the game. They said they're not rushing the game, which I really appreciate hearing that. Honestly, I want them to take as long as possible as they need to make it the best product it can be and the least buggiest, because that will please people a lot. I have seen in the comments that people are concerned that it would be a buggy mess, kind of like how Conan's had some bugs in the past and had struggles with that, and they're hoping that's not going to be the case here. So I am hoping that the team take as long as possible, as long as they need, to iron everything they can possibly out so we can enjoy playing this one. But it sounds good because it sounds like they're going to be continuing betas and keep inviting people in to test the game and iron out those bugs, which is a big positive thing. So really glad about that. Although I did notice something in here. They did say betas are continuing through launch, so it sounds like early access will probably be on the cards for this game, which no problem. But it does mean there'll probably be a few when it does come out, which, I mean, bugs are bugs, aren't they? And as a last cherry on top thing, Joel was explaining about a location in the world that is a full PvP area called the Shifting Sands. And there is a Coriolis storm that sweeps in every week and changes the landscape of this area. That is cool. Not seen that before. So apparently it changes up everything, and I know in previous shorts and stuff they said that can like reveal new locations or hide locations. So sounds super interesting. I really hope they show this off at some point so we can kind of see how that works. It sounds amazing. And hopefully they'll have more gameplay, because honestly, looking at the gameplay throughout this, super exciting. It looks really good, like really satisfying to the eyes. Like I know I was looking at the caves and stuff they were showing off, and wow, UE5 and the lighting, dude, I am on board. Blah, blah, blah. It looks super cool. I love the look of it, and so excited, honestly. Very glad that they're doing this game. Interested to see how it comes out. Hopefully they're gonna do a really good job here, and yeah, good stuff. Either way, super nice to see that today, and we learned a little bit more about the game and got to see a bit more about where the devs of Conan Exiles are taking the future of their product and funcom, I suppose. If you're familiar with the channel, you will understand that Conan Exiles has been a game I've enjoyed for many years. It's been a good one, so very excited that they're continuing doing open world sandbox survival, and interested to see how this turns out. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful and you've seen some really good scenes about the game and the gameplay. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to end with the trailer if you haven't seen it yet, so if you want to watch it, then it will be right there, and we'll go watch it in a minute. But I'll sign out for now. Thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!
Arrakis is a test. Few survive it. Arrakis is a test. Few survive it. But the humans that do awaken.